Cousin family, welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys having a great and exceptional day. It is Friday. We made it to the weekend. So, as they say down here in Texas, everything's chicken but the bone because I'm at home. But anyways, today's word of the day is fluctuation. Stands for an irregular rising and falling in number or amount of variation or whatnot. Fluctuations in the yearly values could be caused by a variety of factors. I mean, you see the fluctuations that's happening in the stock market, and that's caused by a variety of other specific things. And we all know the U.S. economy is it's not very unstable, but people say it's volatile. Sorry, I just forget airports. I mean, when you're near airport, airplanes feel like they're this close to just smashing into the building that you're in. But anyways, so if you hear the background of a plane, yeah, I'm next to an airport. But anyways, so at the end of the day, it's like life goes through fluctuations. It rains sometimes, it's sunny sometimes, it's dark, it's cloudy. It's cloudy sometimes. Dark days, bright nights. It's a normal thing, and sometimes it can take us out. The day is a great example. There's a podcast I've been watching lately, two specifically, 5150 show with Corey Holcomb, good comedian. I love to listen to comedians because they, one, they make me laugh, and then two, they, the kind of comedians that make you think, and most comedians, believe it or not, they are business people, the ones who are successful because they are general contractors in a sense, where they're contracted to do specific work, they're contracted to go to specific comedy clubs, they're contracted to maybe do some writing for shows or music and whatnot. They're contracted to, be on certain television programs, things of that nature. So everything they're doing, they are literally, in a sense, considered a 1099 employee. I would imagine when they get successful, they incorporate themselves in other various aspects. But so I like to listen to them as well, not just people who are entrepreneurs and whatnot. Because sometimes, some people can be a little bit dry. I know I'm guilty of that as well. But anyways, getting back to the 5150 show, Corey Holcomb, he has a co-host named Marcus, or co-guest, whatever you want to call him. His name is Marcus, but his tagline is Marcus, and he has his own podcast called Marcus. And one thing I noticed, Marcus, he's funny, he's intelligent, he's from Arkansas, Little Rock, and he moved to Los Angeles. Most people probably think, yeah, you're crazy, but he needed to leave that area where he was at because he had a creative instinct about himself. He's like, hey, I'm creative. I want to be a comedian, possibly an actor. I know living in Little Rock, Arkansas wasn't going to do it. He could have went to Atlanta, Georgia, but something about Los Angeles said, hey, let me move out to Los Angeles. He's becoming successful. He has his mother living out there with him. He has his cousin out there with him. So, and the family, they're making money moves from a family aspect. So that's cool. And I use that situation because a lot of times, like me, I grew up in the DMV area. I'm a very big creative. Nothing wrong with the DMV area. I'm not trashing, even though a lot of the people there kind of suck. But I think most people feel like that about their hometown. So this is just normal. But long story short, as a kid, I was very creative. Wanted to sing. I wanted to act. I even tried to make my own plays. I remember doing that in daycare. I remember doing that at people's houses. I remember doing that, when I was a kid at my house. I always had my great wild imagination. I even tried to be on Family Matters and whatnot back in the day of VHS tapes, trying to audition to be Steve Urkel, kid and whatnot. But I was too old and too tall. Anyways, long story short, I always had a creative mindset. Thank God for podcasting. When I always had, because I used to try to be a singer, and I used to be a rapper and whatnot. Even though I couldn't count bars to save my life, but I gave it up because I worked on towards being my career in the industries that I've worked in for a long time now. But anyways, I've noticed since I've been doing podcasting how much I love being a creator. I've noticed how much I love thinking of different concepts and things of that nature. This is my passion. I make that much money from it. Not that much. I make more money outside of my job from rental properties because, I don't have to follow an algorithm, and I don't have to, keep up with the pace of things. This is my not therapy, but this is just something I love to do. I love to talk, and as an introvert, this space allows me to just talk, and without nobody being here. And if somebody wants to come on and talk, we can have a discussion. Cool, but this is for the social media has made life easier for the introverts like myself. As far as dating, as far as getting to know people from a business perspective, connecting with people, all that good stuff. So, long story short, I use the Marcus mindset. Even Corey Holcomb, because he left Chicago to move to Los Angeles because he wanted to be in a space where he could be creative. Like Tyler Perry left Louisiana to go to Atlanta, Georgia, to be so he can be a part of the Chitlin circuit and get his plays going. He was even homeless for a while to go after his dreams, but that's what you have to do. Steve Harvey, same thing. He would go do a bunch of comedy shows and whatnot. Then he would go work in a factory because he's from Cleveland. The next day, there were certain instances when he was homeless. Same thing with Tiffany Haddish from Los Angeles. She was homeless, living out of her car, and she always thanks Kevin Hart because he basically when he was starting to rise in success and whatnot, he got her a 1-bedroom apartment. It wasn't the best apartment, but it was way better than her living in a freaking car. So you have to go through trials and tribulations and go through fluctuations in life in order for you to get where you want to be. That's one. But two, a lot of times where you might be at, you might consider yourself a creative, if not even just in the entertainment business, then maybe you want to follow a career path doing various other things. I'm reading this book called the New Geography of Jobs and whatnot, and it talks about how a lot of states lose their best talent because, especially when it comes to the college educated, even skilled laborers, because they don't offer a lifestyle or an environment for people to progress. They might be able to get into being a plumber or electrician or being a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, IT specialist, or whatever, but they're in an atmosphere where they're not able to grow in that field as much, and because they can't grow from a skill perspective, then that means they can't grow from an income perspective. Now, a lot of people wants to live basic, simple, boring lives, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't knock it. My mindset is when you walk out of your house, you should be excited about the neighborhood you live in, or if you live on a bunch of acres out in the middle of nowhere and you don't want to be around people, I'm not mad at that either, because my mindset is, at the end of the day, when you pay to live someplace, you should freaking love living there. As far as the United States go, I can't speak for the rest of the world because I know a lot of third world countries, people don't have those options. But in the United States of America, if you're doing okay from middle class to upper class to rich, you should be able to live in an area that might not be the fanciest and whatnot. But when you say I'm from such and such, like you say I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, say that with pride. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Say that with some pride. You know what I mean? But not just living in a place because you're confined because of your occupation. To me, that's a sense of slavery, and that's the main reason why I started doing this podcast, Larry's Anything Goes, because I don't believe in that mindset. And as a guy in his 20s, that's what I was surrounded by. When I first got into the job market, I was surrounded by people with the mindset of this is where the jobs are at. So can't I chose this career path, so I can't live any place else but the DMV. And that's why 90% of the population looks like they want to kill each other. But anyways, do the great three things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. You get to check out the online store. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, do not forget to check out WEBULL, Stash, Acorns, all that good stuff. With all those platforms, you'll be able to sign up, make some money, get some free stock.